cry. Oh, it is as well. Well done, Mark Watt. Slightly slower.
Ladies and gentlemen, for one of the best sports podcasts in the business, subscribe on YouTube to Shakey's Sports Journeys.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, well, don't we have a treat today? I tell you, we've got the spin twins. But listen, I've played against a lot of good left-arm spinners. Ross Lyons, Ross Paxton, Colin Siller, Coco at Watson's back in the day, Hamza, well back before your era, mate. Willie, Keith Morton, Conda Lang, Ian Blackwell. But today we've got Mark Watt and the big Hamza for Fergus Lee. Lads, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome. So Shakey's allowed me to take the lead today, but I just want to change it up a little bit. Hamza, I've only really seen the size of your hands, mate, a couple of times. I've faced you a couple of times, mate, and I remember you bowling one ball at the Grange, I think, in the Scottish Cup. I just pitched a leg and missed off stump. I was like, oh, this boy can bowl, actually. And I think I just done the usual and got out pretty quickly after that. So I wanted to start with you, mate. Massive debut against Pakistan. That must have been a hell of an honour for you, mate. What was it like? Can you remember that day?
Yeah, I can remember that day. I think, obviously playing against Pakistan, your home country, like your family's country. Obviously massive game for myself. Obviously didn't go to plan how I wanted, but the experience from that, you can't change it. I think just bowling at some of the players and just learning on the job, really, that's kind of the main thing that I got from that, is that how different you have to bowl from international, from, say, example, club cricket or even Warriors level. It's a massive jump. Like, you can't even understand the jump from being a bowler, from just coming straight out of a Warriors game into playing against Pakistan, the best team in the world at that point.
You bowled at a couple of guys that day, in particular, Sarfraz Ahmed, Shoaib Malik. These guys it must have been what was it like the speed of their footwork? That must have been something that you really thought straight away, wow, the margin for error is so little.
Yeah, definitely. I think even if you notice them coming down the wicket and dragging your length back, they still somehow got to the pitch and still hit you for six. I thought that was ridiculous. Even I came back from Pakistan last week and I played some cricket over there, and just the talent that you see, especially against spin, is just unbelievable. I even got hit for a few sixes last week, did a few T20s. These guys just hitting you out of the park second ball. You're thinking, what's going on here? But yeah,
this doesn't happen at Miko Riggs on a Saturday.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Yeah, it doesn't happen at Newcastle either. That's where I'm based currently, club cricket wise. So yeah, it's completely different. The way they play, their mindset, especially against spinners, they don't let them settle. Even the club cricketers in Pakistan, they don't let them settle at all.
What did you play that game, the Pakistan game?
Yeah, we both got taken down, didn't we, Hamza?
Did you?
Yeah.
What was the figures? What was the figures?
I think I was about 4 overs for about 40.
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
Well.
It's not too bad at that level.
Malik at the death. I tried to go Yorkers and he just
He smashes it, didn't he? He was going huge that day. I remember that. I remember Watty, Shaky, as a young lad at David Lloyd Gym, right? And he must have been about 15. And I was in the Scotland team, and he's like, "Oh, Ryan, any chance you get your bat, or any chance that you look after me?" And I remember just fobbing this lad off. I was like, "Who's this little chunky lad try to speak to me?" And what a joke I was. Look what he's turned it into now. Absolute king.
He should have told you where to go when you wanted to come on the podcast. Then couldn't even young lad looking up to you and all that. And you were. You're a better bloke now, Flanners, but I don't know about you back then.
I don't know. There's a few people might disagree. Watty, mate, obviously, as I've just been corrected there, over 80 odd caps. Going back to the first one for you, mate, it's a while now. What was that? 2015?
2016. After
16?
World Cup.
Ireland?
It was in Ireland, the Breedy. Yeah.
Good.
Not as good as Pakistan at home, but it was really good. It was interesting, and it was a good series. We ended up winning it. Preston was captain and Righty presenting my cap to me. It was really a great day, and I don't think I got a wicket that series, but I remember bowling quite well and coming back and having a bit more confidence and kind of remembering that I feel like I belonged in that team and could play at that level. So it was a good series, and it was something I'll always remember.
How old were you then, mate? Early 20s?
I think no. I just
19?
turned 18.
Were you?
Yeah.
So you obviously around that time, Condolanga would have been around the setup, the late Condolanga. You know, great man. He must have had a massive influence. Obviously, being a fellow left arm spinner as well.
Yeah. Con was absolutely brilliant with myself. Just got my game straight away. Knew I wasn't a massive turn the ball, and just kind of helped me with the game and the flight and more just like the tactics of. He was so smart with like his fields.
In swing, mate, innit?
He was so smart with his tactics and his field setting, so he really spent a bit of time with me and just chatting about the game and how to, different things with different batters and where you should have your fields and stuff, and just things like that. Just so smart and just helped me massively with the game. And it was horrible what happened, and but what a man, what a player.
Really, really amazing to see what some of the boys have done in recent times. I know you took part in some of the cycling as well. How was that?
I couldn't sit down after for about a week. I have no idea how Volley and Apple managed to do that for a whole week.
It was incredible. They were at it, and the weather wasn't great either, was it?
It was. To be fair, we had a brilliant day. Like I felt bad on the day, like complaining, like, "Oh, my ass is a bit sore here." But Volley and Apple did something unbelievable.
But mate, you're a fine athlete, though. That should have been easy for you, no?
Yeah, it was a lot easier for me than it was for Crossy. Crossy was doing it on a tricycle, I think, at the back. He was so bad the whole day, just complaining all day. But
has he got small man syndrome?
Oh, massively. But he still sticks his chest out, which I quite like. So
I was going to say, obviously, you mentioned Condolang being a little bit of an influence on you there, Watty. Hamza, there's a couple of individuals that I'd like to talk about, and that is Big Shonky, Omar Hussein, and Panther, the Majid Haq. Obviously, your cousins, mate. What was it like with them growing up? Because obviously, two Scotland internationalists, Majid being one of the best off spinners I've ever seen grace the game up here, and that's for sure. What was it like being a part of their life early doors?
Yeah, I think obviously playing at Ferguson as well. Looking up to both of them playing for the national team, but I don't think it was something that I set my eyes on, set my targets on to, play for the Scotland team. I think that's something that kind of developed later on when I was about 19, 20. But yeah, obviously massive influence, both, brilliant players, brilliant guys. Homie especially, funny guy.
He's a funny cat. I put about 18.
Are you all still winding him up? I know all you little cousins love to wind up, Homie.
We all still wind them up, yeah.
At the same time, we talk about two really talented cousins there who have had fantastic careers, but you've got practically a cricket team and some more now with all the cousins are playing cricket. I mean, you've got Timur, you've got your younger brother Haroon, quality off spinner as well, hopefully future internationalist. What's it like, the camaraderie there? It must be fantastic to have around you. Yeah,
I think it's obviously good, especially if you want to go for a net and you just call your cousins, let's go for a net, or even in the back garden. I feel like I get hit sometimes. Yeah, it's actually pretty good to have cousins that are pretty good at cricket as well. Say that again.
On you go, mate. I was going to say, is there any sort of battles between you or not, or are you trying to help your younger brother in that as well?
No, there's no battles. I try to help everyone, to be honest. But yeah, he's a good little player as well.
Is he? Good. It'd be good to see him come up for the ranks. Watty, I was going to come back to you, mate. And did you ever spend much time with Willie? Did Willie ever do any work with you or not? Willie Morton or not?
Not so much like technically or with Scotland, but he always came down to Heritage to watch Keith and stuff. Aye. And about all the time, you're bowling too fast. Give it.
Because Willie more liked to give it a bit of air, so he would be probably
such a nice guy, and never bought you around or anything. Passed down to Keith, but such a nice guy just to have a chat and chin mag with in the bar after about how he bowled. He's very complimentary of myself, and yeah, such a nice guy.
Yeah. Just before we go and ask some further things, I wanted to just talk to you from the point of view that you are the future of Scottish cricket. With you both being left arm spinners, you're both young. Do you like each other? Do you get on well with each other? Tell me a bit about your relationship.
On you go, boy.
I'll start. To be honest, we always asked to room together because we get on so well. It's weird, like even though like we're in like competition, we still get on so well and we chat and try and make each other better all the time. But to be fair, we have had a few blows in the boxing ring, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. We've had a few blows.
Well,
Yeah, we get Scotland boxing sessions and they let us like spar. And I was like, come on, Hamza, let's have a go. And when his back was turned, I belted him straight in the back of the head. And the guy was
hitting the back of the head in boxing. That is a total illegal move there.
To be fair,
Watch your back, Hamza. He's out to
He's out to get me.
The size of his hands, mate, I couldn't get a punch in, so I had to take any chance I could.
Hamza, what about yourself?
Yeah, obviously we get on pretty well. I think played from under 17s up all the way to the full team now. So yeah, it's been good. So especially better because he bowls in the power play and I don't. So that makes it even better.
And how is it like? Let's say, right, Hamza, you've not got the nod today. You're not playing, but what he is playing, you know, what's it? Will you go and is it? Are you happy for each other? Do you support each other in that front? Will you go and put your arm over his shoulder and just tell him that it's time still to come?
Yeah, I think obviously you'll be disappointed inside, but still got to show positive attitude for the rest of the team, especially your mates as well. So yeah, just do whatever the team needs.
I was going to say,
that's the case.
What's in terms of Scotland aspirations now for both of you? Obviously, Watty, you've got more caps, and Hamza, you're definitely coming through again in the ranks. And it must be difficult for you lads at the moment. You know, there's no like other. You're watching Ireland, Afghanistan play. Like, what's going on? What's going through both your heads at the moment? How's there no cricket?
I just try and stay ahead, stay away from that pretty much, and not try and look at the scores and not really watch the T10 and stuff because I get really frustrated just seeing that all these other teams are playing and we're still just kind of playing Call of Duty or watching Netflix. So I just try and keep my head away from the cricket really at the moment and enjoy like the test stuff that's going on, but the T10 and the T20 stuff all over the world. Because I think in the Scotland squad, we've got so many players that should be playing in that and can play at that level. So I just try and keep my head away from that.
Why not getting a chance? What's going on? Is it Cricket Scotland stopping it, or what's happening?
I don't think it's Cricket Scotland stopping it. I just think it's exposure and lack of games, and you know they can only see, you know, the T20 franchise. They can only see our players playing at their best when we're playing games, and we've not played since January 2020, so well over a year now. So
madness.
But it is what it is, and there's a lot of people that are in worse off position than us. So I think it's just kind of getting your head down and focusing on what we can do, and then when we come back to it, just smashing it then. So
you talked about obviously, you know, that exposure, mate. You've been quite lucky to play for Lancashire and Derbyshire, so you have been exposed to that county cricket and that higher level cricket. And I thought you performed quite well. What's your thoughts on that, mate? How was it? Did you enjoy it? What was the experience like? What do you want to do in the future?
It's like just playing against some of the best players in the world. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'd definitely be keen to play a bit more. Obviously, things didn't really work out, so I don't really know why as well. Like, it's just one of those things, and hopefully I can smash it with Scotland and get another chance down south. And
yeah, I thought
taking too much pop, mate, and not get the head in the game, or
nah, not so much that. I think there's a couple of different things, and it was pretty frustrating time. A lot of travelling up and down on the motorways. But
I think you were harsh done by, because I remember watching you play for Lancashire, and you were performing fantastically well. You know, you were taking important wickets. Your economy was good, so it was disappointing to see.
So I remember at Derbyshire, I was kind of, they were giving me the nod, saying, you know, you're going to be playing white ball cricket for us, and I was really excited, really buzzing for it. And then I remember them tried to sign. I think they tried to sign Shamsi, left arm leggy. He didn't get him, so they tried to sign Santner, our left arm spinner. I was just like, what am I doing? Then they tried to sign Wahab Riaz, and then didn't get him. So I was just like, they're literally just trying to get anyone in just to kick me out pretty much. And then it didn't happen. In the first game, I got 4 for 20 or something against Yorkshire. I was like, right, I've kind of put my foot down here, being like, right, you don't need anyone else, so I'm here. But I had a couple of rope performances after that, which happens in T20, and then just felt like I was the first one to get kicked out of the team when
you're Scottish.
We weren't winning.
I think it's because you're Scottish.
I don't think it's from Scottish. It might have been, you know, I wasn't really coming through the ranks at Derbyshire, and they had some young kids who were, and they wanted to give them a go, and that's certainly what happened at Lancs. So guess it's kind of that. But even playing in the twos and stuff at county cricket, you can see that we've got so many players in Scotland that could easily play at that level, but just don't really get the opportunity, which is frustrating.
Hamza, aspirations, county cricket. You mentioned you're playing down in Newcastle, which I think is good because you can showcase your talents in the local leagues. Has there been any interest from like a Durham, or is that a route you're keen to go?
There's not been any interest, no, but definitely county cricket is what my next goal is. I think that's something that every player should look towards. And I think for me especially, that's something I want to do. But yeah, no interest at the minute. Just obviously sitting at home.
Yeah, okay. But how long? How many seasons have you played down? And I know you played a wee bit in Stoke. I actually got somebody messaged me from Meekins, and had said to me, "Can you tell us a bit about this lad Hamza Tahir? Is he any good?" And I put it on record. I gave you a really good reference. You went down there and you played as well.
Yeah, I played a couple of games there, but then I signed for Sunderland 2 years ago. So this will be my third season. And Safian signed last year as well.
Oh, so yes. Safi and you are both with Sunderland?
Yeah, same club.
That must help with the travelling.
Chasing the cash, boy.
Aye.
Expenses. Private helicopter to the games.
It's just like Rob Moore. Rob Moore's funding Watty's bank account now, that's for sure.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was going to touch base on club cricket, but I think I'll go back to a sort of more memorable day, Mark, if that's all right.
You need to get the big news in first, mate, before we go into the England game. There's some big news to talk about.
Right, okay.
It was on bloody CNN, so we need to get this story.
So
we need to get this story out from Mark Watt, who was out in South Africa recently, and tell us about the experience, mate.
A little birdie told me that there was mobile phones exchanged and wallets exchanged. What was the story, mate? Happened? You and Budgie were obviously in South Africa on a little jaunt recently.
No, basically we just, myself, Shane, Grievo, Morgs and Budgie were in South Africa just training away in Port Elizabeth and had a good day's training, went for a game of golf, nice day, and then just went for a bite to eat. And then myself and Budgie were just walking home. Wasn't really late or anything, it was about 9:15, 9:30. And then two boys just saw the Lycan two of us, jumped out of the car and as you said, exchanged phones and wallets. But one boy kind of grabbed myself and had a gun pointed at me, and Budgie head down just started walking forward, tried to get away as quick as possible.
A gun.
Where did he put the gun to?
So it was weird. So he was walking up to us, and we're walking down the road, and then they kind of on the same side of the road, they kind of moved over to the same side as us. I was like, oh no, here we go. And then he's just kind of said, oh, where are you going tonight? And I thought, because in South Africa, there's a lot of beggars. So I thought it could have been a beggar. So I just said, look, man, I've not got any money, sorry, have a good night. And he kind of grabbed me by the shoulder and just said, no, where are you going tonight? And I tried to push him off me. And he just pulled out this gun. He was like, give me everything. I was like, there you go. So at that time, Budgie was just kind of head down, trying to keep walking.
I heard Budgie just, as Budgie told me the story, Budgie said two lads walked up across the road, pulled a gun on us. Pulled the gun on Watty, sorry, and I've just proceeded to put my head down and keep walking, as true friend would get out of the situation as quick as possible. Is that correct?
I'm trying to be a nice one, but it's something like that, yeah. But then the other boy.
To be fair, what are you going to do? You ain't exactly going to turn around and go, you better put that gun away, and I'm going to stick with that.
The only thing that was quite dodgy, but the fact that I only had my phone because I used Apple Pay, and Budgie phone was out of battery, so he didn't take it that night. So I think the boys thought lying, saying that I had my phone and he only had his wallet. Because then the other guy, the Budgie, was like, give me your phone as well. And he's like, I've not got it. So that was the only thing where they're like, oh, you're lying. Oof.
Did the gun look real?
Oh, yeah. You know, in the movies when you hear it coming out of the pocket, it was like that kind of noise. I was like, oh.
Was it like a big 50mm thing?
I don't know what the name is, but yeah, just like
I don't think he was looking at it that closely.
It was like one of the police ones, it looked like.
What colour was your pants after when you got in?
To be fair, actually, I seen the Budge, we didn't run away with that because they took it and then went under the bridge. And after, I wasn't really scared. I was just more annoyed that it happened. And we didn't run away with that. We just kind of walked away, and I was just like, oh, that's so what a shit way to end our trip.
So lucky, mate. Like, you know, you always get told not to walk about in South Africa on your own, but Budgie said it was only like, what, 500 meters or something.
Yeah, exactly. And like we'd done that walk 20 times before, so it's like right along the beachfront. It's a nice walk, and yeah, just wrong place at the wrong time, I guess. But I don't want to paint a bad picture of South Africa, because I actually really enjoyed it, and I'd definitely go back to the same spot because I loved it. And Grant Morgan was there, really good coach. So yeah, it's a really nice place, but just in the wrong place at the wrong time, I think.
So was Mum, when we were chatting before the podcast, was Mum and Dad just like, you're getting on the next flight home?
Yeah, they were a bit worried for me, but it didn't help. I think that I said that I wanted to stay and ride it out and keep going, but I think they would have been worried sick. And then when we saw the hotel quarantine was about $2,000 or something to come home, we were like, right. I think the same was with Hamza in Pakistan, and then we ended up bumping into each other in Doha like 4
Yeah,
o'clock.
that was random. That was sort of Hamza. What was it? Where did you spot each other?
I was just ordering my Burger King, and I seen someone call my name, and I was like, "Who is this?" It was Budgie, and then I seen what he was sitting down there. He was having his food, and I just had a chat for 10, 15 minutes.
With Budgie's new haircut, you probably thought it was Smudger.
Yeah, I had no idea who it was.
What he was in the duty free, mate, getting the bottles of vodka for the way home.
Still down.
I'm just getting a fillet of fish, Shaky. That's what you've been in the
I don't think you get a fillet of fish in Burger King, son. I think he would. In Doha Airport, I reckon he filled his boots because they would have been halal. So he would have been ordering the chicken
Big
Whopper.
deluxe, whatever.
Big Whopper.
Big Whopper.
Budgie said that he sort of went to bed that night and he was like, didn't think nothing of it. But the next day when he woke up, he's like, bloody hell, we're lucky last night. Do you know what I mean? Because you hear so many bad stories in South Africa.
They can be really trigger happy. I heard there's a family. I spent a lot of time in South Africa as well, Cape Town and Cape Town and Pretoria, 6 months at a time. And there was a couple of families that I met who'd actually lost a family member to the carjackings. But the thing was, one guy that got killed, he actually gave them the keys, got out of the car, and was letting them have it, and they still shot him. So you're very lucky, young man, that they just took your phone and off they went in their merry way.
Because I was thinking at the time when it happened, I had my keys in the other pocket to the car and the apartment, and it says on the keys the address. So I was just about to throw everything out my pockets, but I don't know what was telling me in my head that's saying don't throw the keys. So I just threw my phone. But luckily I never threw the keys, because then we definitely wouldn't have been sleeping well that night.
You're lucky.
We're happy, mate, that you're home safe and sound, and we can laugh about it a little bit. But glad to hear it didn't go any further, because that would have been horrible.
Lucky you didn't have that Headaches hat on or a Hearts top. It could have been a bit more. What I was going to cover on, I was going to say, listen, talk about we had the Soul Brothers on recently, and obviously Chris. We try to actually get some dirties on you today, but both of them have just not come up with the goods, to be honest. But Chris talked about the Scotland game, mate, and I just obviously wanted to touch on it from your point of view. There's a little bit of niggle in the park as well, wasn't there? I'm pretty sure you and Moeen, do you not send them off, I think, when you got them out? Was that right?
It was, yeah. It wasn't really. I don't really know. It was it's just more of the adrenaline running through, and the fact that that's one of my favourite wickets for Scotland, even though it was caught long on. He's trying to moose me in the park, but I remember just that ball. Beryl got hit for the over before, got whacked a bit, and they were in the driving seat. And I just took a bit of time out of the game when everything was 100 miles an hour. Took a bit of time out of the game and went to Beryl and just said, "Yeah, I should just lob one up here and see if he fetches onto it. We need a wicket. It might go for 6, but he might cloth it." He was like, "Yeah, mate, go for it. We need a wicket." So I just took the pin out and just lobbed it up, and thankfully sclaffed it. But it could have easily went into Stockbridge Street. So
what was that deal like, mate? Mental.
It was so weird because it just went up and down. And I remember Leesky just coming up after he's hit that first ball for 6, walking off, and his eyes were like that. He just came up to me. He was like, "It's flat, white. It's really flat." I was like, "Oh, cheers, mate, cheers." He's like, "No, it's really, really flat." And I was like, "All right, mate, well bad."
You changed the game. You changed the game, though, mate. You got the first wicket when they were going at a rate of knots. And I watched the whole game that day, and you're right, it was a bloody emotional roller coaster, and they were strolling it at one point at quite a few stages. Even just before Moyne gets out, you're thinking they've done this, they're home and dry. But you got, I think, Roy out. You got Jason Roy out first, and it was just, you looked at how do you hold your nerve in that situation? You seem to thrive under that pressure.
I quite like it. I think the main thing for me is that when I'm not getting a lot of help off the pitch, I just kind of get stuck in and just try and really take the game to them and speak to them and just try and get myself a bit more angry. It's the same with Shazad when I have meetings with him. I just try and get really into the game, and that kind of just brings out the best in me, I think. I remember Bairstow was just trying to hit me every ball for 6 out of the ground, and I bowled one. He's tried to absolutely hammer it, and he got one, and he came at the other end. I said, "Oh, you should try and hit it a bit harder next time." Ha ha ha! And then he's like, "I'm going to next ball." I was like, "Oh shit!" So, but no, it was such a good day, and the way we batted and the way we started the game, we just took it straight to them, and I was like, "Oof!" Just took it. The shot Costa played off Plunkett, and it was a good length ball straight over his head. I remember him after the game. He's like, "It was weird before he even ran in or let it go the ball. I knew it was going for 6." So that's the kind of pitch it was. But even the main thing about that game was just our fielding. It just took everything, and every chance we had, we just took. And it probably comes down to how hard we trained for the past 2 years before that on our fielding, and just everything came together for that game.
Hamza, I wanted to ask you actually on that front. So I played a lot of club cricket against you, not now for quite a few years, but when you were a lot younger. You were obviously a very talented spinner, but you weren't very good in the field, and you were carrying a bit of extra weight. Unbelievable to see the transformation you've had. Is that being pushed by the fact that you were, striving for higher honours? And tell us some secrets in the Hamza Tahir locker of how you had this transformation. I'm sure somebody will be watching and they might make a little blog on it or something.
Yeah, I think so. I would say something you have to look to improve yourself. I think obviously I was carrying extra weight, and it's something I had to work on, especially during lockdown. That kind of helped a bit. I had the time to focus on yourself, and I just went for runs twice a day, 5K in the morning, 10K at night. Watch what I ate, and then just build that up towards the season, and then just that's all really. And then just kept continuing that. Still continuing that at the minute. Obviously, I want a little break at the minute, having 2 weeks off, and I'll start back again once I know when we start back training. If we start back training, this.
What about your diet? Did you make some changes to your diet as well, or was it just training a lot harder?
I think I had the cheat day a week, the Sunday, where I could have anything I wanted. But throughout the week, it was just mostly protein, high protein, water, and just pretty boring, to be honest.
And your fielding, is that improved being around the Scotland setup?
Yeah, definitely. I think just like anything, it's the more you bowl, the better you bowl, and the more you field, the better you field. Pretty simple, I think.
Let Watty be the judge of that. Has his fielding got any better?
Oh, so much better. But he's been a bit too modest on himself. He spends a lot of time after training working his fielding and grabs a coach to come and hit some extra balls. I mean, his fielding's improved massively. Just on the ground, he's an absolute cat nowadays.
Sounds a bit like myself. Juddy used to take me for extra sessions, but it never helped me.
And you needed it. Me and you both actually were prone to dropping catches, dollies as well.
I used to do that. I used to do wee dive. My hand was like that instead of being like that. That was me off to a tee.
Hamza, another area of your game. I mean, this lad here, he's obviously a really, really good batsman. I've been really impressed a few times that I've seen you play. Again, playing club cricket against you wasn't your strong point. Is that something you're focusing hard on now?
Definitely. I still fancy myself as a batsman. Still think I can bat a top 5 easy.
I was going to ask the question, who's the better bat? But I know Watty can hold the bat. I take it, Hamza, are you a genuine number 3?
Genuine number 4, probably.
Are you getting anywhere with it? What's happening down in Sunderland? Where are you batting?
I'm batting 7 for them at the minute. So getting good opportunities, score a couple of 30s. It's just improving. Just the more I work on it, the better I'll get.
Shane Berger, I wanted you to touch on him as well. You've obviously been, unfortunately, you've not had probably too much time with him so far. I had him on the podcast not so long ago. I'm really impressed by him. I think he's young and he's got a lot to offer. How are the two of you getting on with him?
Hamza, I'll let you go first.
No, he's basically what his second dad.
Oh, man. No,
I heard that.
absolutely no chance. No chance.
Definitely.
No
I think
I've
there's a
heard
few
that.
guys.
To be fair. I've heard that you're the love child, mate.
No.
I think especially now Craig Wright's assistant coach, I think what he's got backing from both. I think personally, definitely.
You better start getting a couple of those 30s into 60s and 70s then, and start putting a bit more pressure on him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Shane's definitely a good guy. Definitely good, refreshing to have around. You know, young guy, new ideas. It's definitely been a good journey so far.
Nice.
Boy.
Yeah, Shane's done really well to come into the squad and fit in really well. Probably quite tough to come in when we're playing so well under Grant as well, and he's done really well. I think we're still yet to play our best under him, which is quite exciting, and we've got a really big year this year. So hopefully we can pull out of the bag and smash this year and get into that World Cup.
What was Grant like, mate, for you? I was going to ask, obviously you must have played most of your cricket through Grant. What was you like for your career?
I really like Grant. I think I just really liked his mentality, and he kind of said, you're not going to play for Scotland if you can only bowl. You need to be able to field and bat as well. You can't just come in with one aspect. You need to be able to help in other ways. Obviously, I'm not a Cal McLeod or a Richie Benton in the field, but he kind of really pushed me with my batting and really kind of said, you need to be able to bat to play for Scotland. And under him, I had some good innings. I had a 80 not out in PNG. So he really kind of pushed my batting, playing against spin and stuff. And yeah, I got on well with Grant. And as a test bowler as well, he kind of helped me with just my field settings and something I really wasn't too good at when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just kind of grab the ball and just bowl.
Yeah.
But he kind of really said, like, once you've got the ball in your hand, take your time. It's your runs that you're going for. Something Madge was really good at is kind of controlling his field and just knowing when he got hit, which I really wasn't too good at the beginning. Grant and Madge really kind of took me under the wing and said, look, you need to think about this, think about that.
Yeah.
Majid talked really highly of you years ago to me. He said, this kid's somebody to look out for. He's got something about him. How much influence has the likes of Majid had on you?
Oh, Majid's such a good guy. And I'll never forget, actually, it's something really, really nice that he did. He on my first tour, so I went on a batting camp, believe it or not, before the 2015 World Cup. All the batters got taken away to Dubai or a batting camp, and I just went to bowl spin and just helped them play left arm spin. And Madge and Monib took me to Butcher's Grill. If you've ever been to Dubai, you've been to Butcher's Grill. But yeah, took me and just said, whatever you want. It's on us. It's your first trip away, and enjoy and stuff. And that was such a nice gesture. And even just on that trip, they helped me massively with my bowling. But Madge, the one time I got to bat, I reckon that trip, I was batting with Madge, and we played 21s. So it was, you get a single, it's first one to 21, but if you get a dot ball, you get 3. And whoever loses, you have to run the difference. So if you lose by 21-0, you have to do 21 shuttles. So Madge, and it was absolutely roasted, and Madge was like, look, why I'm batting with you, just let's take it deep. We don't want to have to run these shuttles. Take it deep. And I was like, yeah, sounds good, Madge. So Madge's first ball face up, just went whoosh, missed it by about 3 feet, got pulled off Mage. And I was like, Madge, what happened? And he was like, it was in the art body. So you had to take our pads off and do 21 shuttles in like 40 degrees heat.
Majid would run away through fitness, wouldn't he? What a panther.
He wasn't a fan. He was not a fan.
But nah, Madge was brilliant. And I'm a bit sad that what happened with him and the way he finished with Cricket Scotland, because I would have loved to be bowling tandem with him and see how he operates and play for Scotland with him would have been brilliant.
Did you play in a World Cup, boy?
No, I was in the 20-man squad or something, but I never went. I was in New Zealand with some of the younger boys, and yeah.
It'd be good to see him involved in the setup again. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah.
Leading wicket taker for Scotland and the history of the game. We've got that source sitting in Glasgow. It would be great to see him get involved and be working with the likes of you boys, because he's got so much a wealth of knowledge to pass on to you.
Absolutely, yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Well, if anyone's watching, like to see the likes of Majid Haq getting involved and working with these young talented spinners, as well as some other good spinners that are coming through as well. It'd be great to see.
I was going to say, Hamza, obviously yourself, mate. You know, you're down south. You're cracking on. Aspirations for you. You've got your fitness in check, mate. You're looking lean. You're looking mean. This year's all about what pushing it. Well, if you get the cricket, I take it you want to try and get trials and get regular in the Scotland team. Is that the plan this year, mate? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the plan. Stay regular in the squad. Obviously, World Cup year as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to get into that squad as well. It's probably the main goal for this year.
Yeah.
Just get a set of boxing gloves on, right? Next time you're at training, and just punch him in the back of the head. Make sure you do it quite hard. Just wipe him out, and that's it. Job done. You're going to World Cup.
What is going to ask you a difficult question, actually, because I think you've got a hell of a lot of talent, mate. You've always had a lot of talent, and I think being 24, you're even 25 yet, are you?
24, yeah.
You're 24 years old. I think you've had that taste of county cricket, mate. And we've talked about Hamza and his fitness and his weight and what he wants to do. What about what's the what are you thinking about yourself, mate? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? You've got a lot of time. And spinners, mate, they're hard to come by, good spinners, especially if you can bat. So you've got a massive opportunity. You don't want to be playing at the dirty nails for the rest of your life, mate. So what's happening with you?
Nah, nothing. I'm quite happy with where I'm at fitness. I'd like to kind of get a little bit more leaner. I think I lost just under 2 stone during lockdown. So yeah, I'd like to continue with my fitness. It probably wasn't the best at Derby. Kind of let myself go a bit there, and struggling really hard with shin splints throughout the whole season. I could barely walk, but still just kind of cracked on and played. But yeah, it's something that I'm just going to keep focusing on. And like you said, I don't really want to I want to play the best I can, because I know I can play at that level. I feel like my fitness is good at the moment and been smashing it. But yeah, just this year I really want to focus hard on my batting, and I think if I could maybe get myself into the top 7 of the team, that'll kind of be able to that kind of makes things a bit easier for myself and Hamza to then play in the same team. But this year I'm just really focusing hard on my batting and just trying to get runs, just trying to keep getting runs for Heriots, keep trying to push my spot up in the regional side, and yeah, kind of knock a few pegs down in the Scotland, and hopefully get that opportunity when it comes, and just grab it when it takes for Scotland to try and bat the top 7.
Opportunity as well, but it's difficult, isn't it? You're not getting those opportunities at the moment, and that must be quite difficult for 2 young cricketers like yourself, lads. So keep grafting away there, and it'll come. I think you mentioned a couple of stories, actually, the England game. Just want to touch on that. Any bit of banter in that game? Any wee bit of niggles? Any funnies from that game? Or
not so much. I don't know why, but I asked Moeen Ali who was quicker, me or David Willey, just trying to get his head and stuff, and he was like, David Willey. But not so much funnies, but not so much in that England game. It was too focused, and it was weird. Like when Safi was charging in, trying to get that Yorker in, it was weird. Like I just was not nervous at all, because I knew he was going to nail it. And
where were you when the Yorker nailed?
Short third, and I just didn't want him to get an outside edge. But I remember Safi kept missing the Yorker, but I was so at ease, because I knew every time he missed, it means that he's more likely to hit the next one. Because he's such a skillful bowler, and he's got that reverse swinging Yorker down to a tee. So every time he missed it and he got hit for one, I was so calm, because I knew he'd nail it. And big time player just rocks up at the right time and smashes him right in the toe.
That was unreal. Like Solly mentioned, he was sort of like, I think he was up. Was it Solly up long on or something like that? And he said,
he was mid off next to.
Hit the Yorker, and he was like, next thing I know, there's some mad guy running past me with a kilt and chucking a pint about and stuff like that.
Oh, it's so good. What an experience. But that's the thing. We need more. We need
more. That is the echo we need. And surely, why would you? Well, it baffles me that the ICC are not growing the game now, because I think now more than ever, associates can beat the big test playing nations. When you're looking at the 99 World Cup, 2007 World Cup, we weren't really expected to take any of them down. I would really fancy you boys now, if you were in a group with 4 or 5 other test playing nations, I'd fancy you to beat 1 or 2 of them.
Absolutely. Just need the opportunities. Look, man, I think we've got a really good team at the moment that can really cause an upset with the likes of Kyle, Barrow, Cloudy. I reckon they're at the peak of their game at the moment, even though they're getting on a bit. They're definitely at the peak of their game. They're just whacking it at the moment and just playing. I think when you do kind of get to the end of your career, you kind of just play carefree, don't you? And you just kind of just enjoy it, and that's when I think they're playing at their best at the moment.
Hamza, have you got any stories on Watty? Because everyone knows that Watty's the joker of the team, and you know, I mean, he likes a few sherbets, doesn't he? Now and then. Any stories for us, or are you going to be nice to your spin twin?
Oh yeah.
I think I'll be nice to him.
Wadi Shah.
Say that again.
Tell him about Wadi Shah.
Oh, we booked this trip in Oman.
Wait, Hamza organised this whole trip and said, "Lads, I've got us something. I've organised this."
So we go to this place called Wadi Shah. It's like in the middle of Oman. It's like quite hilly, like mountainy and like scenic.
Yeah.
You have to like climb through like 100-foot mountains up like ridiculously high. What you can tell them, and
It was honestly ridiculous. Like, but we went the wrong way because you're supposed to swim up this really nice like crevasse, and Hamza's got us like literally dangling off this like 200-foot cliff. People are in like flip flops and stuff, and we got lost. And genuinely, it was proper scary. I almost missed like the last like boat home as well. But yeah, it was proper dodgy. But,
and then once we got home, I think Kyle googled the place we went to, and I think like 15 people die every year going there. Yeah.
Nice, Hamza. That was a great team building. Great team.
It was a good. It was a good trip.
Lost a couple of boys.
done his hamstring in as well. That trip on that Wadi Shah thing.
That sounds like something like Monty Bigbal would do. Do you know what I mean? Monty would take you into the middle of bloody Birmingham just for a laugh. He's an absolute lunatic as well. Yeah, listen, lads. I think it's been a real good insight into, I suppose, your aspirations and a couple of great memories that you've sort of done already. And I just, for me and on behalf of Shaky, I hope you get a lot of cricket this year. I want to see you both playing county cricket. I think you're obviously very two talented lads, and I hope you've got a long and illustrious cricket Scotland career. Maybe not so much Heriot's career, Watty. But yeah, listen, I'd just like to thank both of you for coming on, boys, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, appreciate it, lads. All the very best with the rest of the season and whatever's coming up. And I'm excited to see what both of you are going to do in the cricket field.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, Shaker.